So I was thinking lately, what really makes up a good game? Is it an engaging storyline, or fancy graphics and immersive sound, sense of immersion? Well, all these things certainly contribute to a good game, but I very recently found a game that doesn't really pride itself on any of these, yet I've spent far more time in it than anything else recently. This game is called Rogue Legacy, and it was independently developed by Spelunker Games and just recently released on Steam. Rogue Legacy, as you can see, is a 2D platformer that kind of has a retro-y feel. But the thing that sets this apart from the endless sea of mediocre independent titles is the sheer addictiveness and creativity that you see in the game. See, every character you make in Rogue Legacy is biologically related. That is, when you die, the next character you play as is the heir of your last character. What sets them apart, however, are the strange little quirks that each character is born with. Take this guy, for example, Sir Wallace II. He has OCD and electrophobia, or fear of chickens, both of which have strange little advantages and disadvantages, such as chickens popping out of various barrels at random when you're playing the game. Along with that, he's also a paladin, which is one of the most balanced classes in terms of playstyles. To add on to that, each of these characters you can pick from are randomly generated, so there's a possibility that none of the characters you ever play will be the same. Once you're in game, you can choose to upgrade your keep and give yourself bonuses with the gold that your ancestor has found. With each upgrade, your keep grows in size and your lineage becomes ever so slightly stronger, making it easier for you to progress through the castle. You can buy a blacksmith, and he will make you different weapons and armors. An enchantress will give you magical abilities called runes, and an architect will also lock down a dungeon. Speaking of the dungeon, it's also completely randomized for every single character, unless you talk to the architect and convince him to stop it from randomizing. Now, one thing I should mention is that this game is hard. It is extremely difficult. It's not a question of if Mr. Wallace here will die, but when. Now, there's no doubt that Mr. Wallace is strong, but I don't know if he's infiltrate the castle kind of strong. I have plenty of upgrades at this point in the game, so I could hold my own in its first part of the castle, but that's about it. There are other sections of the castle, including a terrifying Land of Darkness, a forest, and another place called the Maya. Each of these sections has their own enemies, usually large and unruly. Also, it has their own sound effects, visuals, and a boss. Unfortunately for Sir Wallace, he has met his bitter end in the forest, but luckily the coins that he has gathered will be put to good use in the upbringing of his son, Sir McGladdery III. Yes, there were two other McGladderys, but they have long since passed. This time, McGladdery has gigantism, so he towers over everything. This is both a blessing and a curse, and of course affects how you can play the game, because your sword will reach different enemies depending on where you are, but they could also hit you if you are unlucky. Remember how I said that this game has a huge replayability factor? It's so addictive, I spend hours playing it so far, and it's just plain fun. It doesn't need to have super fancy visuals or complex gameplay. It's about improving your raw skill, learning patterns, and having the curiosity to find out what's behind that door. And for the case of McGladdery, who has found his way into the Forest Zone boss room, it's death. And somewhere down the line is Lady Blair III, a woman who has a big ol' Santa beard. She's also colorblind and nearsighted, meaning things are blurry and in good old monochrome. It certainly changes the feel of the game, and the mage has to be played in a different manner compared to the other classes. There aren't really too many spells to switch from, unfortunately, but they aren't generic by any means. Most of them don't really involve the whole generic fireball thing. And here we have Sir Kaima, a spelunker who is farsighted and stereoblind, meaning things up close are blurry and things far away are crystal clear. Stereoblind is basically not being able to see in 3 dimensions, so the characters kind of turn like you'd expect in something like Paper Mario. But I think you get the idea by this point. The amount of classes is huge, the customization is huge, the entire game is just very heavy on content. It's the perfect mixture of Metroid, Castlevania, Binding of Isaac, and currently it's only $15 on Spelunker Games' website, so you should go ahead and buy it, and if you do buy it there, you also get a free Steam key, which is awesome. There's also a demo, so if you're unsure, please check that out. Spelunker Games has really created something amazing here, and it just characterizes the epitome of fun gameplay. Anyway, this is Game Taco, and I hope you enjoyed this little review. If you did, please feel free to subscribe to my channel, and you can check out my other reviews, Let's Plays, commentaries, etc. Currently going through The Last of Us, so if that's your thing, you can go check that out. But anyway, I will see you guys later. Peace.